We are live.
It appears we might be live. You guys, we have had the most technical difficulties ridden day of all days, but we're here and hopefully clear. And good to see you here too. What's going on in the chat? We are just going to stream, I don't know, maybe like an hour today. I've got a little set up here with the side drums and the drop. Do you want to flip to the top angle just to quickly show what we're going to get into? Ryan's beside me here. He'll be looking at the chat probably a little more than I will, but I'll try and take some questions too. We've got 2 tracks from patrons to give feedback on. And we're also just recording side drums into Ableton, and I have like little beats that I made in here that I want to not exactly stem out, but just kind of like record little jams that I will edit down later. But yeah, it's always like a step in the process when you're finishing stuff from a Groovebox, or not even necessarily finishing, but like taking it to the next stage of its little life and whatever it might become. Getting stuff from the Groovebox to Ableton, at least the way I like to work. I know a lot of people like make full things in their Grooveboxes, go out and perform them. But for me, I really appreciate something like this for what it does inspirationally, but I still prefer doing a lot of the kind of finalizing details in Ableton and adding things that are just easier to do in Ableton, or in some cases not even possible on various Grooveboxes. But yeah, I am a Groovebox junkie. I want to try every single one, and I also always eventually bring the stuff that I make on it that I like into Ableton. So yeah, we'll be doing a bit of that today. But first, let me know if there's anything going on with you, anything you want me to answer. Get those questions rolling in, and we'll do a little question and answer. Oh, yes, perfect. What happened to the song Super Bloom that I was working on? I have been continuing to work on it. I just picked it up again after like so many months away, as as happens. And I guess for those of you who don't know, I previewed this track on my channel. I mean, it was years ago that I put out a song or a video about the vocal arrangement of this song. And I'm just so bad for having 5 million projects on the go all the time. So it's, I just like chip away at everything instead of having one thing that I finish and then another thing that I finish, which I'm trying to get better at. But yeah, Super Bloom is like on the table right now. It is on the workbench. It's really close. What is left to do? I asked you to take a look.
Yeah.
Recently to like what were you addressing in the last little bit of notes?
I added some synth MIDI parts and then
we were doubling some of the synths. So Ryan, who's on my team, wears many hats, helps with lots of video and music stuff, and sometimes it's just nice to have someone where you can ask them to like try some ideas, and it like infuses the project with some new life. And yeah, I guess like it's a mix of stuff that I give you that like sometimes is more on the like, I don't know, just like try stuff side, and sometimes it's like, okay, I want to try like 10 different arpeggio synths here, just like you set them up, try things out, and then I'll like finesse from there. Honestly, nice to have, because there's parts of music production that like some days you don't feel like them. But yeah, and then I've been like really finessing the drum mix that's been happening. And I don't know, I've probably been talking about this song for too long for like how far away it still is. It's like a couple months out, I want to say, and I'm still super pumped about it. What else do we have?
Nothing.
Left channel's fading in and out. That's interesting. I think the mic is stereo. Oh, is it possible it's doing the thing where it has one channel that's like the compressed one and one channel that's the
That is possible.
I think that's what's happening. Sorry, y'all.
I panned it so they're like the same level, so like it.
Oh, yeah. Can we mono it?
Not quickly.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, yeah, let me know how bad it is and maybe we can try and find a way around it. But I'm realizing now we're using like the camera that I shoot on, and the way we have it set up is like one track has the built-in compression that the camera provides, and one track is like much more neutral. So they're at different levels, and that's just like a safety that's handy to have because like usually we use the neutral one when we do our own compression in our video editing software, but every once in a while you get something that's just like so inaudible or whatever, and then the other channel helps out. But yeah, let us know if that becomes an issue here, and we'll see if we can do something about it. Collabs on new Eurorack modules. Oh man, I'm so glad you asked about this as well, Stacy, because I have just been like this week on calls and writing emails with, I guess I can tell you this part, with Bifaco. We've been working on a module for years actually, and it's been on and off, just with like what else they've had to do and various part shortage type stuff. But we're working on a really cool thing that I probably can't tell you too much about, but I think it'll be something slightly new for Eurorack. Like we haven't seen another quite like it that will really help, I think, with like composing in Eurorack rather than just like kind of setting up a patch, but having like movements and things like that. So yeah, pretty pumped about that, but there's like so much nitty gritty that we've been going through, and I've been writing like these 10 paragraph long emails to figure out, okay, what's the exact way that the UI is going to work in this edge case, because it's not going to happen much, but it's going to happen. Someone's going to do this weird thing and we need to be prepared. So that's where we're at with that module, and I'm hoping like in the next year it's going to be coming out.
Yeah, this is a good question. How do you keep the studio organized? I feel like I'm pulling everything out every 6 months and finding tons of dead ends and tangles and craziness.
Yeah, it's a process. There's seasons where I feel like, okay, the stuff that I use the most is like flowing and things are tight and whatnot, and then like there's always, it just ebbs and flows, then it like grows and expands and new things come in that I'm trying or like integrating into permanent spots in the setup, and I just like, I have a mess that I kind of push around to different parts of the room, and that doesn't show up on camera. But yeah, and then I do try to keep on top of like if I put something away for a season, I like have a little storage spreadsheet of like trying to keep track of where everything goes, and then also just having a spot for like every type of cable and adapter and all that kind of stuff goes a long way. But yeah, hope that's the part of things you were asking about. Let me know. Digging the Book of Chances. Yes. Thanks, Brado. We'll do another batch, I think, in April. If y'all missed it, I think we'll probably do like 2 of those a year, 2 drops a year. I saw a question about being in Toronto. Yes. We are buried in snow right now. We have like multiple feet of snow that all came down in about a day, which I think is also lots of other places in the world. But yeah, it's been wild over here. We literally just before this stream had to push my wife's car out of the driveway because, yeah, the tires just spinning in the snow. So that was fun.
It's a polar vortex right now.
Yeah, absolute polar vortex. I stream all the time. There's always a technical issue. Yes, thank you. That's how we always feel.
Pro Tools Ableton.
Okay, I'm glad there's some positive response to the storage spreadsheet idea. I gotta tell you, this is, yeah, I mean, I'm happy to nerd out about it a little bit more. I have tape on all of my shelves. They're labeled like A1, A2, A3. Oh my God. Like, I know where I can like label where things are. I've got that in the spreadsheet. I can, like if Ryan's coming in to work on something, I can be like, this device is on, B11, if you can like get it set up. That kind of stuff, but also, yeah, just for my own like finding stuff, it's great. And then you can have like your columns in the spreadsheet too, where like if you want, you can tag things as like, is this a synth, is this a cable or whatever, and then when it's just like, sorting the spreadsheet by a few things you might want to find. Maybe a lot of people don't have quite this problem, but I have like so much Eurorack, for instance, that I'm like, oh, I need I don't know, some particular type of module, I can just sort by oscillators and be like, yeah, okay, I wanted to do a patch with like one more oscillator than I have in this case. I'm going to swap out for a different module, and I can quickly see where every oscillator that I own is. So yeah, stuff like that. Spreadsheets. I mean, I do spreadsheets for everything. They're so handy. Spreadsheets for video ideas, spreadsheets for like my kids' allergies, spreadsheets for my whole life. But okay, let's keep the questions rolling in, but I'm going to do a little bit of recording here. Ableton is running in the background, just capturing whatever happens on side drums. I have the drop here for MIDI control of a few parameters. I'm not even like clock syncing them because I'm just going to like tweak a few things live. I'm not using any like pattern change stuff or whatever. And just like recording some of the beats that I've been making here and various variations into Ableton for some editing later, and you know, hopefully some of them turning into finished tracks, but also it's okay if they don't. And then, what's this called again? I totally forget the...
It's by Dig Dug.
That's right. Dig Dug DIY makes these things that everyone always asks about, where you get this like different kinds of visualization. Actually, let's turn on some more tracks here. Huh? So, always a fun time. Just adding a little visual spice. Dig Dug. All right, let's keep it on that one. Yeah.
Soundwave.
Dig Dug Soundwave?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the setup. Also, pink rug from Amazon. And let's try something out. I think, honestly, like there's so many different patterns in here. I don't have like a mind map of what all the tracks are. I don't have performances planned. I'm just going to try and capture a few different things with like clean sections. And then I'll also start messing with some of the macros that I've set up just to like experiment, capture some happy accidents. But yeah, what do we want to start with here? Maybe would these 4 tracks be interesting? I don't know, something about that wah, 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 wah is not doing it. I think it needs to like interact with that melody. Oh, like those 3 different synth melodies interacting, so maybe they start there. And then the hats come in after a bit. Yeah, but this is very much my process with groove boxes. I mean, not always. Sometimes I will straight up stem things straight through. But sometimes it's like, if you're happy enough with the mix, it's just faster to kind of like jam something out, record it as a stereo track, note what the BPM is, or, you know, if you're smart, sync it in Ableton. We're not doing that right now. But then, yeah, just edit sections later. Grab a few single stems if you feel like you'll need them, but I don't know. It's nice to commit sometimes. You come up with sections like that too, right? Where you just like kind of have something that feels new, even though it's the same loop, but you like unmuted things at different times. Like I know for a fact I've never done this combination of tracks with this loop before, and I'm really liking it. Maybe we'll do a little drop out. I think I hit one of the sound parameters because it's a little bit like weird now, but that's okay. We can reload. But first, let's just jam it a bit. So I've got these purple sliders are mapped to like a whole bunch of sound parameters on every single channel. And you just get happy accidents. And it does, you know, it's a little limiting because every channel's parameters are all moving in the same way at once, but sometimes that's cool too. Ooh, I kind of like whatever's happening with that, like, buzzy synth note. That's a little extreme. And then I've got macro envelopes here to make everything a little clicky, or like big sustain. But, you know, now we've just gone like so far off the map, feeling kind of wacky. Let's reload this pattern. And then I'll capture a few other variations. Breakdown. Ooh, run this through Data Bender, that would be fun. There are some glitch effects in this box, I'll show you in a bit. Live arrangement using nothing but mutes is a great practice. Yeah, totally. And a similar thing, if you use like Ableton or any of these other clip launching style DAWs, having loops set up and just triggering them at different times is like effectively a similar thing, and is so much different than like moving blocks around on a timeline, because you have to do it in real time. You feel out what works and what doesn't. This particular combo isn't like amazing, I feel like, but maybe if we do like only those synths. Oh, no snare too. Did I start with this? Maybe I already did this. Well, let's get some. Trying to find like, maybe I need more release. Yeah. Too much attack. Okay. That's the thing with these macro envelope controls. You're kind of like dialing a lot of things at once, so you gotta find a sweet spot across multiple tracks, and I don't know. Well, now I've lost my tuning, so we'll reload again. Is there anything else from here that I feel like I want to capture? I mean, there's some kind of cool variation. Maybe some more like breakdowny ones. And then just for a safety, we'll do... Oh wait, that's the opposite of what I wanted to do. Haha. Well, we'll do... do a bunch of cymbals. Yeah, that sound on its own is not doing anything for me, but... Fun. So yeah, that's just one little loop that, you know, you can like get a lot of stuff out of, and, you know, could be a full track. Once it's in Ableton, I'll see what sections really feel like they're working, and how long it ends up, and if I'm inspired to just like layer on other synths or whatever. But yeah, that's why I like this process. You know, there's definitely plenty you can do just in an 8-track groove box, but I don't know, I guess I always make my music more complicated. Let's take a look at a few more questions. Speaking voice lowered, is that a something to look into? Do you want to give it a little boost?
Oh, I thought you meant like there was like your speaking voice was. I didn't touch the levels.
But... Oh, but like, is it just a comment about my voice or like a comment about the stream audio?
I thought it was about the latter, but yeah. It was like, oh, maybe he got sick recently. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can make the music quieter.
Didn't realize I did live streams. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of new. I did one last month. I'm trying to do one on the last Tuesday of every month right now. I used to do these just for patrons. But yeah, just decided recently, like, let's just open it up. And then the part that is just for patrons at the top tier of my Patreon is track feedback. And we do have 2 of those today. So maybe we can get into that after a couple more questions. But, oh yeah, drop transit on top of this. Absolutely.
Someone we will be doing Vector that. Synth too. Yeah, it was, I can't remember where it was. They just wanted to run Vector Synth through it. Was 2.
Oh, Vector Synth through transit?
I don't know. It was
I mean, I guess you actually can run things through SideDrum's effects, which I haven't tried much. I've used its effects on its own sounds, but there is one like glitchy thing that I'll show you on one of the next beats that I want to put my voice through because it's just like it's so fun to play with live. Middle thing is just a visualizer. That's right. What do I feel is different? This is probably a good question. An eternal question. What's different about doing things the analog way and the digital way? And I guess this means different things to different people too, because I think some people just see like it's physical, so it's analog, which is not, I guess, the technical thing. But yeah, I mean, if the question is about outside of the box versus inside of the box, I don't want this to be the case because you can do anything on a computer, but when you interact with something physically, the results are just different and not necessarily better, sometimes maybe, but yeah, it's totally different to have like a no latency hands-on experience than clicking around on a mouse, or even like, with the best MIDI controller and low latency plugins, it's just like not quite the same as different kind of dedicated hardware. And if the question is like analog versus digital in the sense of, how the audio is represented, I'm not sure that makes any difference anymore, except in like, these random cases where like some analog distortion might sound 3% better than the really good digital emulations of analog distortion that we now have, that kind of thing, analog bus glue or analog like guitar breakup compared to the digital emulations of these things, maybe there are cases where you could spot a difference. I feel like it almost never matters in like a final mix unless maybe those kinds of artifacts are at the very forefront of your sound or something. But pretty much these days, like sound wise, you can go fully digital in my opinion. Workflow wise is more where it's at for me when I thinking about doing things, hardware wise, analog wise. But yeah, that question may deserve a video, honestly.
I like this question. Hey Andrew, any chance we get some more in-depth videos of your thoughts when you create music? They like album in a day, but they get kind of frantic in a bit, yeah?
Yeah, I guess it's been a little while. I've been finding it harder to document that. I think that, it's funny, I used to, when I was a less experienced producer, I was able to make much snappier videos about my process, and I'd love to do more of those, but I guess a couple things come into mind. So the thing I was gonna say was like, when I was making music as like 10 years younger version of me, I didn't know as much, and I was doing things just quicker because I didn't have like all these extra steps in my process of like, oh, I know I could like refine this idea further, or I know like 5 ways to make something sound a little bit better, or things I could try to like maybe come up with new ideas. But also, yeah, back then I just was like focused more on YouTube than anything else, and now I'm like kind of all over the place doing videos, trying to do more music releases and trying to like work on these products. I wrote a book a couple years ago, So it's been a lot more spread out. So in part, it's been like my process used to be faster because there was less to it, and my standards have gone up, and I've learned more and all that. And then it was just like time has shrunk. I'm a dad now. That's also a thing in that list of things that take time away from making those kinds of videos. But then also, I think the other part of it is, when I think about making a video now, I kind of want to have a concept that's a little more distinct, I guess, because I feel like there are so many of my older videos I did where it's just like, oh, we're making a track, and I would try to find an angle for it, but I mean, I guess it's like an algorithm thing. It's like, oh, if I have something to centralize this video around, that's going to help everybody. It's going to like help people find it. It's going to help people understand what's going on. And I think at a certain point it felt like the amount of work that it took to do like a deep dive into the creative process as I'm making something was just like not working out. It would be like really random performance. But I do hope that like I'm still able to communicate the same kind of ideas about like cool creative stuff I'm discovering. But I guess I'm just trying to package it more as like, let's talk about envelope followers or, whatever it might be, rather than like, here's a track and here's, the random things that are happening while I'm making each part of it, if that makes sense. But also hoping to do more like track breakdowns. So like, not in the process, but after the fact, very much looking through like, here's all the tracks, here's where the ideas came from, here's like what I went through to get to the final destination. So hopefully that also scratches a similar kind of itch.
Do you have a favorite vintage synth, or is most of your gear on the modern
A favorite vintage synth? Yeah, you know what? I think that I have had the opportunity to play with so much vintage stuff, and for sure there are some things with like really beautiful tone, or like, they just feel really solid and good to work with. They're more ergonomic, like things back then were just made without as much, concern for like packing a lot of stuff in, which I guess is like a plus and a minus, because also at the end of the day, when I've had those opportunities to play with these like vintage things, I reached the end of what I want to explore with them much faster, because there's less to them. They're more limited. So yeah, I haven't felt like I've needed to own any of those, like, the real classics. And they're also the ones that have been the most emulated. So I think that most of my stuff is on the more modern side. And yeah, I guess that's what it is. Like at the end of the day, as beautiful as like all those old synths are, the sounds that I would want to get out of them, I am happy to get out of a plugin.
No more questions? Yeah.
Let's take a look at a couple more, and then we'll have some track feedback.
This one's interesting. You said we're talking about music releases.
Yeah.
What do you think about being constantly releasing music?
Yeah. What do you think about constantly releasing music? I mean, it's really down to you, both like what you're feeling and what your goals are. I think that, these days, the more common advice is like release more often, because the more you release, the more chances you have to like get in front of people, the more like new, exciting stuff there is to talk about. And for sure there is a reality to that. But I still think like you have to prioritize what works for you artistically, and like some things just take time. And if you don't want to be like cranking stuff out super often, then I don't think you should, unless you feel like the balance has to go a little higher for you to reach certain performance goals or engagement goals or something like that. And so yeah, it really like depends on what you want to do with your music. Like if there's a part of it that is you're hoping to like grow into something sustainable financially, or if there's a part of it that you just want to enjoy, or if you only just are making it for fun, like those are personal questions, and I think the answer is different for everyone. So it's really like what feels like is satisfying you, and like that Venn diagram of like, this is what I want to be doing, and this is also going towards my goals. Hope that helps.
Not a question, but I want to shout this one out.
Yeah.
They were in your first monthly class, and then they dropped out because they weren't doing great. But now they're attending Berkeley as a composer, so thanks for giving them a push.
Oh, love that. That's great. Yeah, I mean, the monthly class was demanding. They've recently, they've gone through a few different rebrands. Studio.com, which used to be monthly, but the first iteration of it, which you were in, it was like you had to dedicate a couple hours a day at least. So yeah, it was not easy to get through, but like props to you. Berkeley is huge. Congrats.
We must have been schoolmates because I was also in the first
one. You were in the first one? Yeah. Nice. Let's see. Do I ever perform live? No, I stopped performing live in, I think, 2017 because it was just one really big thing that I could take off my plate and not feel bad about. I used to enjoy performing, but it was like really almost like breaking even, not in terms of money, but in terms of like what you put in emotionally and what you get out of it. Like loved it, loved traveling, loved like hanging out with the people I was on the road with, loved meeting fans, loved being on stage, but like your sleep is terrible, your food is terrible, you're away from your friends and family, you're like there's all these logistics to constantly figure out. We had a vehicle break down once. We've had like really weird people come to shows sometimes, and like boundary issues. There's like, yeah, and just all the rehearsing, all the setting up, like so many things that made it. It just made me realize like, oh, if it's not working and there's so many other things that I want to be doing, like making these products, making these videos, being in the studio and recording and writing, which I just enjoy more than performing, I just cut it out. It was a bit of an identity struggle because I'm like, isn't this what musicians are supposed to do? But yeah, it just ended up not feeling right with me. You know, if I had all the time in the world, I for sure would. But I feel like it's not in the cards for me. I'm a studio rat, you know. So yeah, maybe we'll take a little pause there. And we'll listen to. Oh, are you on top of it? Yes.
Got you.
Thank you. This is one of our technical difficulties. We're like, okay, wait, but if we're at the top-down station, how are we gonna monitor stuff from over there? And like, how are we gonna also send it to the stream? Anyway, we're gonna listen to one of the tracks is from Adrian Johnson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has some. Oh, just a shout out. So yeah, a lot of people have been asking. These live streams is new. Fairly new to the public.
Yeah.
We started them
this is the
past
second
December,
one.
last month. But so yeah, now we're going to be streaming every last Tuesday of every month. And if you're a patron, you can submit tracks for feedback, like the one we're about to.
Yeah. So on my Patreon, which is patreon.com/Andrew Huang, there's like if you're at the highest tier, you could submit tracks for feedback, and we'll do them whichever ones come in on these monthly streams. So we've got two today.
Adrian Johnson submitted a track saying they're looking for a song mix, a feedback on song structure, mix, and anything that comes to mind.
Sweet. And we've heard from Adrian before, so yeah, I'm expecting some beautiful sounds.
Okay, here we go.
I like that I don't know how many distinct synths there were there, but it was cool to feel like different layers building a chord together. And they were like panned, have different timbre. Piano is striking me as a little loud, maybe. I think maybe the preceding section needed a little bit of a lead element. Although maybe the piano melody could be that, but if so, I think maybe it was too repetitive, could have some variation. I like the drum work in that fill. I think that in that section, ooh, I like these strings. Yeah. That's cool. Very nice surprise with that. And the space is nice. I feel like, ooh, you could pick up the tempo a little bit and just like, this could drive a little harder. But like, yeah, beautiful string arrangement. The thing I was gonna say about the previous section was like, I think the synths were competing for attention. I wasn't sure which one was the one I should be paying attention to, so maybe some of them need to get like filtered down or something and have like one of them shine. The current section may be a little long, maybe cut it in half, or the strings develop more. I think they kind of like looped a bit much. And then maybe transitions could be something to look at for this song structure. Just like more of these, like really accentuate those builds and those changes between sections. Oh, this is a fun vibe. It's interesting because it's like got a chill atmosphere to it, but there's like this layer of aggression coming through that I kind of like from that synth. Be interesting to see like if you highlighted that contrast even more with like a back and forth between them, or just trying to like enhance both of those energies. I like how it kind of falls away there. I feel like that could have been the ending, just like on in terms of the energy arc that I'm on, but I also do see that like this string part is like the big section, I feel like. Felt like that the first time it came around. So yeah, I mean, it could be a thing of like trimming the song, which is also, you know, a taste thing. But I really would think about upping the tempo, because I just feel like this could like push into just like a higher energy territory in a cool way. And I was just say, I hope like the drums pull away a bit. I would just love to hear it go out on just the strings. But yeah, again, I think maybe repetitive. You're kind of peeling maybe one or two layers back at a time. I think it could be much starker. But for sure, these strings are the hook. They're like very clear melody, very catchy, great arrangement, and like I know that's the part that I'm gonna hear again later today. Yeah, it's an interesting track, and I think I say this every time we do track feedback because I don't necessarily know the exact intentions you have with like where you want this piece to live, or even like the genre that you are necessarily aiming for, because we could keep structuring this into like a, you know, instrumental, like drawn out ambient-ish thing, or you could pull it into a poppy direction. Like there's so many options. But I will say, just as a listener, as this one particular listener, I think you could trim it down, and you could like just have those changes happen at a faster rate, and to keep the kind of interest going and the energy flowing. And but yeah, I mean, it's a really cool combination of elements. I think I noted a couple of things that stood out to me mix wise, like the filtering of some of the synths and the piano level. And then, yeah, I think the transitions, like, that's always the hardest part. It's why I made my plugin. It's like the thing that takes me the most time is like, how do you make it feel natural, and how do you like signal the right things to the audience, and when do you want to surprise them versus when do you want to like really build up anticipation. And so I think that would be something to pay attention to, because I would say, you know, throughout that song, as you move from section to section, it felt like the same type of change. It felt like, okay, a few things are leaving, a few things are coming in, and that was each section. And there were some like drum fills and there were some swells and stuff. But yeah, I think you could heighten that transition game. But yeah, nice work, cool track, very unique vibe. We have one more track for feedback that we'll look at later today, but let's do a little more side drums, let's do a little more questions, and then we'll have a track from, what was the...
Yeah, the next track was going to be from Philip
Torvik.
Philip Torvik.
All right. So let's see, let's load up another pattern here. What else do we have? I'm trying to like double duty with these live streams and like get some work done that I also wanted to get done, which is getting some of the side drum stuff I've been working on out of here and into Ableton for further development. But hopefully it's fun and inspiring and educational and all that at the same time. All right, yeah, this one, I really like this one. So let's align all the mutes here. We've got, these are drums. Oh yeah, listen to that wacky cymbal. All right, that's track six. Love that. Okay, that's gonna be fun with the weird sound macros. And then is it all drums other than this little like steel drum sounding thing? Okay. Let's record a loop of that. Probably something like this for the intro. Oh, there's nothing there? I thought that would have been my snare. That's a snare. Yeah, so it definitely needs a bass line. I'll figure that out in Ableton. And then I guess that's all I had. Figure out another synth to go over this as like a B section. Oh, and here's another fun thing I haven't done yet. I have this mapped to probability. So I can just like dial down the probability of every track. Use some of that as fills. And then when I click the encoder, it goes back to everything at 100% probability, which is fun. Let's try some other track combos. Oh, actually, let's get just this cymbal. I didn't realize it had a little like flangery flavor to it. Flanger flavor. That's got to be a track title. What are my swing settings here? It feels like there's a tiny bit of something. Can I see it from... Oh, pattern level swing. I forget where to see that. Is it in here? I can't believe I'm at 2% swing. I was like, it doesn't feel quite like perfectly, you know, 16th notes, 2% swing. Okay, cool. Well, maybe that was just luck, or maybe my internal clock is working. All right, let's get some weird cymbal sounds going. It's not as pronounced an effect on this track as others. What's happening in these sound parameters? I mean, there's some variations. Maybe I can just change what wavetable we're working with. That's the thing with side drums, is like, it's all wavetable based synthesis. And so you have something going, change the wavetable, and you get like a whole other flavor. And I know I'm here being like, all these different flavors. And I'm just seeing Essa, my wife, being like, yeah, it's a whole bunch of beeps and boops. They're the exact same. Go away. Okay, got a little bit of fun variation with that. Let's reload the pattern here. And, oh, I wanted to show the, should probably still do that on the cymbal, honestly. The glitchy stuff. So I'm gonna make sure this track has, or that it's a master effect. So we want to select type snip loop, and I have some things mapped here where oh, is this not working? Oh, is the effect routing right? Come on. Sorry, y'all. Wait, I think it should be... Oh, it's the dry wet. There's so many things. So many things. Nope, still not doing it. Dang, this is odd. Ooh. Let's see if it works on any other tracks. It does. It's working on just the bell. Okay. Well, I'll show it to you here, and maybe I'll be able to figure out like what's going on with the routing. But there's this effect called snip loop, which is my favorite effect in side drums, and it's basically like a stuttering beat sync thing. But it's just one of the better ones that I've used. So I have this encoder mapped so that as I'm holding it down, it's active, and as I turn this, it changes the amount of time, which is a musical time division from quarters down to the, what is it, 128th note. And then this control is what they're calling depth, which is sort of like an envelope. And so what I like about this is like when it's on a beat, it's better. You can just insert these little stuttery fills, which are also fun when you change the quantization amount live. And then as you change that, changing the depth, you know, turns into like some kind of tonal changes at the higher speeds. But I honestly, I don't know why it is not affecting the other tracks. Everything looks like it's routed the same way. Is it a configuration thing? I haven't had this happen before, so we might not figure this out on stream, but okay. Let's just record a little bit of this jam with like some sound variation, and then we'll move on. Actually, I think I like the bell. Well, let's experiment. Okay, that one's not doing much on this particular sound engine. glad we did this. There's like a simpler variation on the sound. And then what happens with this one? Also nothing. Sweet. We're using a way simpler sound engine on this one. Oh, and it's got like that fifth tuning, so we're bringing out one oscillator or the other. Fun. Okay. Well, I don't really care about that second one. Let's do some drum variation. Yeah, some of the like pitch envelope stuff can get weird. Yeah. Also, this is a fun thing. When you're doing drum bass synthesis and you like push up the attacks, you kind of get like a reversed sound, but it's synthesis. It's not like reversing a sample, so you can like extend it out. I don't know what I'm doing. Just seeing what happens. What if we like turn the probability way down? Yeah, I'm just like grabbing stuff and I'll use like pieces of this for a fill. I'm really not liking one of these parameters. This one? Yeah. Like that. Ugh. All right, that's probably enough of that, but I don't know about you. I was having fun. Let's take a look at some questions.
There's quite a few questions earlier just asking for status updates on your hearing and like the weird EQ that
Oh yeah, I mean I've been meaning to make a video about my hearing for a little bit because there have been updates, but it's basically it's like fluctuating more these days, which is well, good news is it's fluctuating better. So like some of the bass frequencies that I couldn't hear before have come back a little bit, but also sometimes they come back more, sometimes they go away again. So like that drives me crazy. As far as I can tell, there's not a lot getting worse, other than probably the general, like, you get older, you gradually lose those high frequencies more and more. But yeah, it's a really weird situation because on the one hand, I'm like, damn, I can hear like a little bit more than I used to be able to, and I'm like enjoying these parts of songs that I wasn't able to before. But then at the same time, it's so inconsistent because it's fluctuating more that I can't trust what I'm mixing as much. So I'm getting more help in that department, but it just feels like stuff takes longer or like I have to second guess it more. But yeah, that's the quick update. I want to talk about it more in a video actually because like sometimes the fluctuations are so wild I can hear things that other people can't hear, which is which is really wild. Those ones don't last too long, but yeah, I'll tell you about it more in depth another time. It's been a journey. I still don't know what the cause is, but that's that.
Auto shift? What's your opinion on auto
Opinion
shift
on auto
from
shift.
Ableton? Do you think it's capable to replace the Antares one?
Yeah, I like auto shift a lot. I think that I think I've used it more than auto tune lately, and I like that they also have the formant thing, which is like, I guess there's lots of plugins that do that now, but Little Alter Boy was more known for that. And Tares, I think, offered some things like that, but I didn't really use it that way. They had some kind of like voice changing stuff in some of their plugins, but they're also I got confused by the Antares plugin lineup at a certain point, and I was kind of like, okay, I think I'm just going to use Autotune because there's like too many different ones. But yeah, auto shift is great. I haven't done like a real back-to-back comparison of like how does the tone change with the tuning, or are there different artifacts or whatever, but I really like it. Yeah, totally. Nice. I mean, if you like how it sounds, you should use it and not buy autotune. Maybe there are some things I don't know about that autotune is much better at, but yeah, I would say like since auto shift has come out, I've used autotune less and less. What else do we have?
They're talking about
VST stuff.
Yeah.
If I had to pick two VST basses, that feel real.
I
always go to Scarby.
Mm-hmm. Rickenbacker.
Yeah, the Scarby Rickenbacker bass in at Native Instruments Contact. It is one of the best ones that I've used, and I guess like at this point it almost just has become my default because I decided I liked it the best at one point and haven't explored more since then because it has been out for a few years. But I think what I like about it is that it provides a good tonal range. You can get really like fat, dirty stuff. You can get like palm muted stuff. It includes things like distortion and compression and it does sound like nice and real. I think some of the articulations are cool where it like does feel a little more like a finger's like sliding across a string when you change notes rather than just like here's the first note, here's the second note. There's like little things like that about it. But at the same time, I'll say like I haven't explored a lot of like super dedicated live bass plugins because I know like NI, I would say NI usually does a really good job, but they're doing so many different things that probably anything that NI does, there's like one or two plugins out there that do it the best, a little bit better than NI, but also like NI's like really solid. So yeah, I don't know. Is there a bass plugin that comes to mind for you?
My usual go-to that's not the Rickenbacker and it's free is Ample P-Bass Lite.
Ample, yeah. I think I tried Ample back in the day. That's true.
It doesn't sound totally authentic sometimes, but I kind of almost like that artificial fake character almost.
Yeah.
Like this, when you do the pops, they really pop because
it's
just sampled.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's good to have a free option. But I'm trying to think if there was any others that I used to go to. They probably also would have been Contact ones. But yeah, no, it's been Scarby Rickenbacker for like years now. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I love this question because I have done it so many times. How do you make horns feel like live horns? Back in the day when I was doing a lot more commission-based music production, and I would get something where it was just like this person's asking for horns or this genre just always has horns, I found it really came down to writing for the sound that you have. And that means like if you the VST that you have or the synth that you have makes a trumpet sound that just sounds better sustained than it does doing a quick blast, then you write those types of sustained lines. Sometimes I would find you could combine the strengths of different plugins, or if you layered two different plugins, the things that were real about them stacked up in a good way sometimes. If there's the option, having a live player double it is obviously always good. And I would use that, like, even if I had access to a live player, I would double it with MIDI because it would just be like fewer takes that the live player had to do, and also like a quicker way to get a fuller sound. Because if you're recording your own live player, it's like the same horn, the same room. Maybe you could switch out mics and stuff, but to really make it feel like a horn section, a combo of live with different mic techniques and different MIDI instruments is cool. But really I found it came down to writing things for the sounds that you have, and probably also like a little bit of tucking it back in the mix. A little bit of like, yeah, maybe if it were a real horn I'd have it louder, but we're gonna have it draw less attention to itself. But yeah, it kind of, it's dependent. If you're writing a straight up just like trumpet quartet, it's probably not gonna work out. But yeah, there's definitely ways to help with the situations where it's in a mix.
I think too also, I use anything live, I always like automate some sort of fader or something for the volume.
Yeah, true. That's a great call. You like inject dynamics with automation, and that can go a long way.
Yeah. What's going on? Did you hear about Native Instruments and their child companies?
Oh man, yes. I just a buddy texted me about that today. That Native Instruments like. I don't know exactly what it means. I'm not gonna lie. There's like an insolvency motion. I don't know. Basically, like it sounds like they're whoever owns Native Instruments is ready to like parcel it out. It sounds like. So I have no idea. We don't know what's gonna happen to all of the Native Instruments plugins, or like is it possible for one company to like just buy the whole thing as a company? But it sounds like they're more interested in just like divvying things up to whoever is willing to pay. So that's like, I don't know. I feel like that will be one of the biggest things to, you occasionally see these producers who are like, this is a PC that's not connected to the internet, and I haven't changed anything on it in 5 years, because you just need to sometimes hold on to legacy software, and it might be a case like that. Like hopefully they find some ways to support it. But yeah, it's wild to me. Like I know from doing transit, the plugin market was not great this past year. Like things are saturated. There's so much going on in the world. There was definitely a boom during the pandemic in terms of like people buying music software and getting into their hobbies and stuff, and we're coming down from that. But to see something like this happen from Native Instruments is like pretty wild. Yeah. But very early news. We'll see what happens. I would buy it if I could, guys. Let's see.
Oh, I've got a question for you. Have you been keeping up with NAMM?
A little bit. Yeah, I'm like less and less on like daily updates of things these days, but I saw a couple cool things. I saw a cool Banana Effects pedal. I have one of their things. I bought their little like tiny little like glitch pedal called Mandala, and I just saw they dropped something. I think it's called Chimera, spelt with a Q, which looks like a really good polyphonic pitch tracker. So like using your guitar to play synths, and they've got tons of interesting sounds in it, it seems like, and effects. So that was kind of the standout for me so far.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, drop it in the chat if you've seen anything cool coming out of NAMM too.
One person asked earlier about your thoughts on Fender Studio Pro. I don't know if you heard of that.
Oh, no, sorry. I have not checked out Fender Studio Pro. What's the deal?
I'm not fully educated on this, but I think to my understanding, there's like Fender bought out Studio One, like for some something like that, and then they like injected all of there's like Fender plugins and amps into Studio One now, and they're rebranding it as Fender Studio Pro.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it's. I don't think I've seen a like guitar forward DAW. Like a lot of the times the DAWs, if they have Fender bought PreSonus. Oh yeah, I did know that, but I didn't know about the like DAW incorporation. Yeah, but that's an interesting move, because for sure a weak point of almost every DAW is that they will offer no or very few and not the best guitar bass plugins, you know, your amp and cab sims and tuners even and whatnot. So yeah, I wonder if they'll do well with that. Interesting.
Cool.
Ooh, Archetype Rebea by Neural DSP. Yeah. I feel like I've taken a look at that one before. Cool pitch track synth module. Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, should we check out this other track for feedback from Philip?
So Philip's got a track. I think it's their first time submitting. So yeah, thanks for submitting. That's cool. They are looking for feedback. They want to get into scoring and syncing space with 80s synth music, synthwave.
Sweet.
So any help with doing that and feedback on the sound of the track would be great.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, 80s synthwave. I am ready.
Okay, let's do it.
And I could talk a little bit about like getting it. Oh wait, yes, I'm wearing these headphones still.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I think, okay, so I was monitoring with like a tiny bit of latency when doing the last side drums pass. Cool.
Here we go. Didn't
feel it. Great job, I. That is a real nice, lush atmosphere. That second chord, like whatever that voicing was, is pure 80s to me. So what is it? It's like the 7th chord in minor with the tonic pedal tone, I think. Oh yeah, let's go. Oh, this is sick. I really love the vibe. I think that ARP bass synth could have a little more grit to it. I like that. Yeah. A lot of tasteful stuff here. And that high synth that like almost feels like a siren. Building in a really nice way. Okay, I feel like I wanted a bigger change there. Maybe there could have been like even more intensity and a greater contrast in what the instrument parts were playing, just to like really make this big, even though I feel like you're continuing to build it. And I think the lead could pop out a bit more, because right now mix-wise I'm getting a lot of the bass. Yeah, and then I think again too, transitioning out of that, there could be something more like definitive rather than just kind of the things start pulling back and land in this softer zone. Something that really signals like, okay, new section. I think like a lead element maybe is needed in that pocket. Ooh. This is great. I think that there's maybe a little bit of like a sheen over the mix. You could like find some spots to clean it up. It might be in the reverb, might be in like overlapping synth pad frequencies. Because I would really love this to have like, to have the lead really stand out, Have the drums cut through a little more. Is it like slightly slowing down? Or is that a trick? Love that atmospheric background reverby thing. I mean, definitely, you know, on the one hand, I feel like sections like this could call for more of a lead, but also if you're going for scoring, you know, this could absolutely work for different applications there. Oh man. Really, like, sonically, emotionally, I feel like this has something to it that's really great. Yeah, really dug that. I think that, I mean, again, there's so many possibilities with any piece of music, and it depends on what you are going for. I thought that the first time that you had like a bigger build and it turned into, you know, a fuller section, like a drop type thing, if you will, that could have been a moment for like some of these heavier drums, like the beat you had with the snare that came in later. Like just having, you know, you're setting up this build, you have a lot of drive in the bass, there's a lot of urgency in the writing, and I feel like that first build and that the payoff to that first build happened late enough in the song that we already wanted a bit bigger of an impact. Maybe, and you know, it's a question of what this might be scoring, but maybe some more variety in some of the synth palette. Like some of the sections could, I think a lot of the times there was a similar sounding pad in the background. There were the similar sort of like that chord element that I called out at the beginning. I do like that when you went to that section with the big drums, you also had a new lead sound come in, and that was a really great sound, that kind of like soaring, gliding thing. But yeah, I mean, really great job. I think there's a few things mix-wise that you could just see if you could clean up to have more clarity of parts coming through. That could be like low cuts. It could be just a couple things with levels. And then I feel like probably reverbs could be either pre or post EQ'd, or maybe both, or possibly like dialed back a bit, or like side chained. Track spacer, if you don't know track spacer, or you can set up similar things with like routing EQs and compressors, or, you know, basically side chaining, but only for certain frequencies. That's really helpful. Especially in a genre like this where a bit of pump is totally acceptable. But yeah, super cool track. Love the writing. Love the sounds. And then I can talk a little bit about like getting into scoring and sync. Like the bit about it that I know, or like the luck with it that I've had, has been really about trying different things and putting myself out there online. Like everything that I have ever gotten in terms of a placement or in terms of being asked to score something has been because some random thing of mine that I posted online reached the person who was making that decision. You know, I have submitted to, I think there's like one library, and I like gave them a bunch of my tracks non-exclusively just because they got in touch, and I was like, oh, I'm not really like doing anything with libraries, so I'll try this out. And honestly, I see like, you know, $50 a year or something from them, because it's like, oh, you had like 30 seconds of a song get used in an iPad game. And so it's just totally random, like what gets picked up or not. But I would say like I've had more luck just like having a bunch of my stuff out there, and someone hears something that feels like it's right for their game or their movie or whatever, and they ask if they can use it. Or sometimes it turns into they ask if you would score something for them. So yeah, it's just make content with your music, I guess, is the best answer I can give. But yeah, it is a bit of a random game. But also, I mean, try libraries. You might have better luck with it than I do. Certainly, there's plenty of composers out there where like that's their main thing, and you know, it could be that I haven't done it enough. It could be that my stuff doesn't work for it as well, or it could be like the particular library that I submitted to just as like so much other stuff, or they're not pitching to too many people, or who knows, maybe they're not good at their job. Yeah. I hope that helps. Take a look at a few more questions, then we'll do, I think, another little jam here, and we'll get out of here. We've already gone a little over an hour anyway. I do have to do a couple more things today before I get back to the kids. What's up with the blue bass? Yes, the blue bass always gets... I easily pull it in.
Yeah, you can get that.
I'm wireless right now. Let's go. You know what? I found this secondhand. There's a store in Canada called Long and McQuaid, which is like the Guitar Center of Canada. It's the only real like big chain we have across multiple cities. And this is a Japanese Fender Aerodyne, which is like, it's got P bass elements and J bass elements. I have switched the strings for flat wounds, which is just what feels nice for me. And I chose some that have blue. I don't even know what this is called. What's the part of the string that has extra string on it called?
That's some trivia right there.
But it's a beautiful bass. Like there's a little bit of like, you know, this wood tone coming through. What I think that it leads to so many comments about it though, because I've had this bass for like 15 years or something, and every video I put it in, people are like, "What's that bass?" I think really it's just that it's got a blue headstock. It matches the headstock in the body, and that's just like a little more of a statement. I mean, the color is like definitely a little more distinct, and it's nice, but I just feel like so many guitars and basses don't have that unified look of actually like painting the headstock, and it just makes it pop, you know. So that's the story. But I don't know. I mean, I remember when I went to the store and saw this bass, I wasn't looking for a bass. There's like at Long and McQuaid, they have a yearly sale, I think in the fall, where just like a bunch of random stuff is discounted, and something definitely drew me into this bass. So maybe it was the blue and the blue, but I guess, yeah, some instruments just have that like effect, right? Because like I have lots of stuff that shows up in videos that no one ever comments on, and this one always at least gets one comment every video it shows up in.
I never realized the headstock was the same as the body, but now I'm realizing your whammy one as well. The Telecaster. Yeah, it's a nice touch. But yeah, no, what I was gonna say was like I wasn't even in the market for a bass. I was just like, oh, I've got like a few $100 and it's the Long and McQuaid yearly sale, I'm gonna check it out. And I was like, well, I already have a bass, but like look at this bass. And so that was the thing that I got that day. Yeah. And now it is great for internet engagement. It gets me like 1% more comments every time I use it. Are you still using the OPXY?
Oh, yeah. That's a great question. OPXY. I've been meaning to do a video on the OPXY because I've been making all this stuff on it where I feel like I just want to find the right collaborators for it. And so I'm thinking like maybe I'll post a video where it's just like, here's all the OPXY stuff that I've been working on. And like there's some funky stuff and there's some kind of, I want to say alt-rocky stuff, honestly, on it. That I, you know, I'm in a zone where I just want to collaborate with the right people rather than trying to take everything to the finish line myself. So that video is coming, and you'll hear a whole bunch of my OPXY work. Yeah, I think let's do a couple more questions and then one more of these, and I'll get out of here.
I might have to dip a bit earlier if you want to.
Oh, yeah. You have to get going at like 4:30, right?
Yeah.
Is that now? Okay. We've got a couple minutes.
I could leave stuff here if you want to keep streaming though.
No, I gotta get going too.
Okay.
So yeah, we will wrap this up. Well, let's just take one more question then. I know if I start doing this again, it's gonna be, time is gonna fly by. So let's do one more question. What's a real good one? All black Aerodyne. Oh yeah, that would be sick.
What's catching your eye?
I'm gonna go back a bit because I think there's a whole bunch I missed here. Wait. You know what? I'm gonna go out on this since we've been talking about it. It's not like a beautiful, soul wrenching question, but if you get a scoring contract, how do you negotiate the terms, and how do you come up with the price? Yeah. Okay. I think that a lot of this is like just like made up as you go, but definitely whoever's asking you to score something will have a budget that they have to work with. And so if you like if you see the size of the production, that can be a hint sometimes, because I don't know, that I've seen rates that are like a few $100s for like doing a few minutes of stuff. I've seen rates that are like tens of thousands of dollars, or like maybe even this would be like very rare and very big production, but like getting into six figures for a score. I wouldn't hold your breath for one of those, but I think it's definitely, if you're scoring like quite a bit of material, like 15, 30 minutes of something, like that's got to be at least several $1,000s, I think, of work. Could be more, could be less. I know a lot of us like have to do this for like not a great hourly rate because that's just what things are like. But also a lot of parts of scoring can be really fast with like templates and like all the MIDI and great sounding instruments that we have. And even like often using sample libraries is fair game, and up to you how much of that feels right to incorporate. And also it's got to be the right kind of library. Some may have like restrictions against that kind of thing. In terms of rights, that is really up to what you're comfortable with. But I will say usually the person doing the commissioning comes in with an idea of what's going to work for them, and it's kind of take it or leave it. And it might be like, oh, we're open, but it might be like, we just need a full buyout. And in that case, you have to adjust your rate up accordingly to just like cover the bases of the fact that like after you get paid your fee, you're not seeing anything more from this. And then at the same time, like if you are getting royalties, you're kind of hedging your bets on like how much is that worth versus getting a bigger upfront fee. One thing I will say is like, now that ChatGPT is around, asking it for rates could be one of its better uses, because it has all the knowledge of all the people discussing all kinds of rates. And I think, I've done it once or twice with certain projects that were unique that came up for me, and it felt like it gave me a reasonable response. And then was there another part of this question? It was up a bit.
There. No, I think you got it. Shared rights, exclusive.
Okay,
rights.
yeah.
Yeah, score contract terms, yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely tricky, but it's also like you have to feel good about it, and also you have to remember that like the first. I don't know. I guess I still have to remind myself about this. Don't like sweat super hard about the first number, as long as you're not being like absolutely outrageous. But like, people don't want to just like look at an offer and be like, oh no, and then like we're never going to talk to you again. Like, there is room to discuss what works, and there is room also, I think what can be helpful is for you to like provide a range, provide options where it's like, oh well, like depending on, do you want real strings versus MIDI? Like, I can offer a better price for this or that, or could we work where like I'm scoring like a simpler parts for this scene versus other thing, like the ways that you can kind of itemize what you're doing so that there's options for compromising in different areas to get a budget that works for both sides. Yeah, hope that's helpful. Definitely, you know, I always love to get into business stuff because when I was doing this, I had no information and I wished someone would just like tell me what they were doing. So yeah, thanks for joining for the stream today, and we'll see you next time.
Call out.
Oh
yeah. So yeah, you can catch these streams at the last Tuesday of next month.
Yes, last Tuesday of every month.
Yes.
Around this time.
Around this time.
Try.
Yeah, and then if you wanted to get your tracks in for feedback, that's for Andrew's creator tier patrons. So if you want to submit, you can sign up for his Patreon.
Patreon.com/Andrew Huang.
Yeah.
And yeah, always looking forward to checking those out. So yeah, thanks.
See you guys.
And we'll probably leave this live up on the channel too. I saw a question about that. We'll just leave them up for now.
Yep.
Enjoy. Peace.